Hi everyone, it's Taylor here, and today I'm going to be sharing how I created these 4 cards using one set of layering stencils. So let's get started. I'll be using the Foil It Totally Rad to accent the designs that are part of the Create in Quads Totally Rad stencil set. This set of 4 stencils allows you to create these 4 A2 layer panels with the one set of stencils. Now I'll also be using the Oh My Word Happy Birthday on a couple of the cards that has a coordinating die to cut that out, and I'll be using sentiments from a couple of our mini strips and simple strips sets. For blending, I'll be using pineapple and mango, lollipop and dragon fruit. I like to choose coordinating colors in a light and dark in order to add dimension. Then I'll be using guava on one layer and tropical punch on the last layer. I have my ink stand so my ink pads don't travel around my workspace while I'm grabbing ink. And I'll be doing some embossing, so I have our powder tool, clear embossing powder, and VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I'll be using Tailored Expressions Fun Foil in the Silver Stars and Sparkle pattern. And then I have my tools, so I'll be using lots of different blender brushes and bitty blender brushes. I have my Just Press tool for my Misty, and I have my teal tape to tack my stencil in place. And I'll be using my new favorite, My Sweet Petunia Precision Glue Press. So I'm starting off with my mini mink, allowing it to heat up, and I have 4 different panels from the Foil It Totally Rad pack. These coordinate with the different designs of the stencil, so I'm going to foil them first before we begin our blending. I'm using Tailored Expressions Fun Foil in the Silver Stars and Sparkle pattern, and I'm cutting off of the roll in order to cover all 4 of those panels. Then I have my transfer carrier sheet with my Foil Magic shim, and then I'm placing each of those panels with the foil on top and the pretty side facing up, and you can see we get a beautiful toner transfer of that foil onto the black portions of the toner print. I love how these turned out, and they really do accent the designs of the stencil and just allow them to pop even more. So then we're going to take and place these behind the stencil. I'm starting with layer 1, and I'm lining up each piece into the corner of the stencil. And I'm using the openings in the stencil to line up with the printed pattern on each Foil It piece. I've adhered all of the pieces together using teal tape, and then I've adhered that entire piece down to my placemat and marked the alignment squares with a pencil so that when I'm ready to move on to layer 2, it will be really easy to align it. I've started with pineapple ink and then accented with the slightly darker mango ink, and I'm coming in with layer 2 of the stencil now, blending with guava ink after I've lined that up over the top using the squares that I marked with pencil in order to make that a little bit easier. So this was first lollipop and then accenting dimension with the darker dragon fruit color. And then my last layer is going to be tropical punch. I come in with a light hand, and then I come back with my bitty blender brush, adding those darker accents for dimension. So all 4 panels are now foiled and blended, and we can continue the process with sentiments. I have used my powder tool to condition the sugar cube cardstock, and I stamped with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm pouring clear embossing powder over the top. So I'm going to get a beautiful black glossy sentiment without actually using black embossing powder. I have the coordinating die that I'm lining up over the top to die cut that, and I actually did this step twice so that I have 2 sets of sentiments. I'm going to put these sentiments popped up onto the 2 patterned panels. So we have the happy birthday. I'm using my precision glue press to adhere those small letters. The word happy is 5 letters, which fits perfectly in the rainbow stripe of that pattern. And then the pattern with the stars, I'm just going to place that birthday right in the center and then use my negative die cut as a template to arrange the word happy over the top of the birthday. I am going to add a couple of strips to this, so I have sentiments that I already embossed from my Simple Strips birthday set, and I'm going to pop them up right underneath that large sentiment. And now it's time to add them to card bases. So the first one I have here is Tropical Punch, and then I have Dragon Fruit as well. I'm using my 1x3 foam strips to place on the back of each of those panels and then pop them onto the card base. And now we get to finish off the 2 image panels with a couple of other sentiments. These are from Mini Strips Birthday, and I'm just popping those up again with some foam tape, adding a few glitter stars to the background, and then we'll put those on card bases as well. I love the sentiment, "It's your birthday, wow, you're old." So I added an insiders to this that says, "I'm sorry I called you old, I thought you knew." That's from our Insiders Snarky Birthday set. Then I have the same 2 colored card bases, Tropical Punch and Dragon Fruit, along with my foam strips to pop those up onto the card bases. So we have 4 cards that are totally rad using that Creating Quads Totally Rad stencil. If you enjoyed today's video, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when we post new content in the future. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.